White Lotus is such a fun show that I decided to rewatch season 2 the other week. And it's funny that the one thing that stuck with me then is the same thing I get out of watching it now. Alby fucking sucks. It's crazy that in a story with a Wall Street douchebag that hits on his friend's wife, a British dude that literally abducts a girl, an entire gay organized crime syndicate, this chick that complains about everything while she's on a free trip to Italy, the sex addict Hollywood dad, this guy who won't bang his wife, and a man who plots to murder his, that the character I hate the most is fucking Alby. Allow me to explain. First, I think one of the main reasons is Adam DeMarco's performance is incredible. He plays someone so oxymoronic with such authenticity, I'm amazed. Albie is cringy and socially awkward, yet so arrogant and smug. He plays the nice, I respect woman guy, yet his sexual desires always come first. He's one of those my biggest flaws that I'm too nice, insufferable fucks brought to life. And while with a casual glance he appears as someone who is respectful and kind-hearted, he's actually the most master manipulator on the show. When we meet Albie, he has just arrived in Sicily with his dad and grandfather on what was supposed to be a family trip. We come to learn that after his dad's latest act of infidelity, Albie's mom and sister chose not to join because they cannot bear to be around him. During his week at the White Lotus, Albie takes a romantic interest in another guest at the hotel, Portia, but after coming off as too nice, he is crestfallen to see her take interest in another man. Later, Albie receives signs of attraction from Lucia, who, unbeknownst to him, is an escort that his father had hired to be there, and begins a carnal relationship with her. Lucia eventually convinces him that she's being exploited by her management and to give her $50,000 with promises of visiting him in LA. At the end of the story, he reconnects with Portia and admits that he was had by Lucia. Throughout the season, Albie plays the nice guy card incessantly, all while being kind of a huge piece of shit. This act, it's kind of a method he uses to try and guilt Portia into being with him, but then in a kind of just desserts, this same nice guy act ends up giving Lucia the opportunity to extort him. Albie believes he's a hero, a nice, kind-hearted, good man who is there to save and help women. And this attitude has him acting condescending and self-righteous to his dad and grandpa about just about everything. He claims he wants to stay out of his dad's family drama, yet he throws the mistakes with women in his face in every turn. I mean, shit, he's lucky he didn't talk that way to Chris Moltisanti.
I'm kidding, huh? You wanna try cooking with one fucking eye?
His dad and grandpa call him out for banging a hooker on a family vacation. He throws a temper tantrum about how they have no right to judge her. Bro, take a look in the mirror. They're judging you for spending an entire week and a half year's salary on a prostitute. Albie constantly positions himself as a feminist, but it is almost always as a means to claim moral superiority over his dad and grandpa, or because he believes it will get women to sleep with him. He actually has a pretty negative, or at least complicated, view of women, which he all but lets slip with this line.
Girls always complain that guys aren't nice, but then if they find a nice guy, they're not always interested.
That, coupled with when he says, I refuse to have a bad relationship with women, kinda unveils how creepy and disturbed he really is. Okay, that may sound a bit too harsh, because really I'm more annoyed by Albie than anything else. Sometimes his awkwardness reaches Michael Scott levels of socially clueless behavior, and it's hard to watch. Other times he reveals he has such strong opinions on how the world works, but very few thoughts about his own life. When Portia asks him if he is pissed at his dad for what he did, he isn't sure. He has to take a minute. He hasn't thought about it. Compare that to when his grandpa just says he likes The Godfather.
You would.
All right, what's that supposed to mean?
It's because you're nostalgic for the salad days of the patriarchy. Men love The Godfather because they feel emasculated by modern society. No, movies like that socialize men into having that fantasy. No, gender is a construct. It's created.
Albie expects everyone to think like him, but his arguments simply amount to, I'm right and you're wrong. He knows that The Godfather isn't politically correct anymore. He knows how gender dynamics have changed over time. And he knows how to recite modern socialization arguments from Stanford. But he doesn't know how he feels about his dad cheating on his mom. He's comfortable being iconoclastic, but not thinking for himself. And when something doesn't go his way, he's quick to point the blame anywhere but inward.
Great. Thanks, Dad. You do have a knack for repelling women.
It's a small offense, but later the show gives us this shot of him ogling a lady at the airport, something he would undoubtedly chastise his dad for. Because of all of this, I feel like I'm watching somebody pretending to be what he thinks a good person is, instead of someone who's being authentic. And that's not a feeling I get with any other character on the White Lotus. But obviously, I think Albie's cardinal sin is his insane manipulation of his dad for 50 grand to give to Lucia.
Give me 50, and I'll help you with Mom.
His speech is disgusting, full of demands, and practically amounts to blackmail. It's like he's been waiting to exploit his dad for something through this whole time. And it even contradicts what he told his dad about buying his mom's love earlier. He wants money to save Lucia so she would be free from her obligations to love him, and vindicate his nice guy hero routine. And even if you want to take Albie's side, believe Dom deserved this punishment and that Albie was trying to do the right thing for a girl he believed was being exploited, you are forgetting about the true victim in this scenario, Albie's mom. The show makes it abundantly clear that Dom has not changed, nor does Albie believe he has changed. Albie knows his dad is going to hurt his mother again, but he lies to her to get what he wants. She gives Dom another chance because Albie promises her things will be different when he knows they probably won't. He is willing to put his family through another disaster for another night with a hooker, and values sex more than his own mother and sister apparently. This is why I cannot buy the argument that Albie is simply naive or too young and oblivious. He makes a dedicated choice to sell out his mother in order to win Lucia. At the end of the show, Albie, like most of the characters, gets what he wants. A chance with Portia, who through her trauma has become a lot closer to his wounded little bird fetish. But unlike the other characters, he gets her number without any consequences. He lost 50 grand of his dad's money, but it doesn't seem to bother him at all. I read an interview with Adam DeMarco where he states he believes Albie is a good, nice person with just a tiny bit of savior complex or white knight syndrome. Adam, my man, I really have to disagree. Pay attention when you watch the season again. Is Albie really doing anything for anyone other than himself? Who does he seem to blame for his problems? Is he nice for the sake of being nice, or is he after a fantasy of being the hero for women, and then ultimately receiving the same embrace of a woman that his grandfather talks about craving?
The embrace of a woman. It tells you you've done all right.
Anyway, I think the show is excellent, and I'm really just impressed that Mike White created a whole mess of pretty disgusting yet interesting characters who, for the most part, all find some kind of happy ending, even if there may be some dark clouds on the horizon. So what do you think? Is Albie just a sweet, nice kid who wants to help women, or more of a manipulating hypocrite? Let me know in the comments, please. And what do you think the future holds for Season 3? I'm always interested in theories about what's to come with the White Lotus.
I think you could aim higher. Honestly, I think you could do better than a caveman.